everybody. I'm Lynn Pichek, Senior Editor at Progressive Grocer, and welcome to Top Women in Grocery. It's a podcast focused on the trends, topics, and interests that move women forward in grocery retail. We spotlight extraordinary women in the grocery industry who have successful careers and interesting lives and who make a difference in their workplaces and their communities. And I'm so pleased today to be joined by Maria Brous, Director of Communications at Publix Super Markets, and also Aissata Deme, Atlanta Division Regional Director for Publix. Welcome.
Thanks, Lynn. We appreciate you having us.
A little bit
Thank
of
you.
background on you guys, so just so our readers and our listeners and our viewers can learn more about you. Maria is Director of Communications at Publix. In her capacity, she is responsible for all internal and external communications that promote and protect the brand across the company's 8-state operating area and more than 1,400 stores. She began her public career in 1990 at age of 14 as a front service clerk, and after spending 9 years in the retail market, she turned her attention to the support side of the business. In 2002, Maria took charge of her passion for Publix and the people and communities they serve and became the face and voice of the company as media relations and community relations manager. She spent 2 years in the diverse market building strong media relationships from Key West to Vero Beach and was promoted soon to Director of Media and Community Relations. In 2020, named Director of Communications. I'm also thrilled to talk with Aissata, Atlanta Division Regional Director. She began her Publix career in 1998, also as a front service clerk at a store in Sandy Springs, Georgia, where I've been. She's held several positions in customer service before being promoted to store manager in 2013, promoted to district manager in 2016, and her current role in 2022. And she also received the Publix President Awards in 2019. So I love that you both started right at the front end for customers. That's great.
Yep.
That is especially that's where you come up through the ranks and you learn to know the business, and it's an exciting time for Publix, right? So you have a big anniversary coming up. So what are your big plans, maybe in the district level and at the corporate level? Maria, you want to start with that? How are you celebrating this big anniversary?
Sure. Thanks, Lynn. Well, we're excited about our 95th anniversary. So September 6th, 1930, Publix was established. And while we're 95 years old, we still feel 95 years young. We're looking and we're grateful for our past, but we're looking ahead and forging into the future. Continuing with innovation and how to improve, always improving the customer and the associate experience. We definitely have celebrations for our associates, both at retail and our support areas. Giving back to the community is always part of what we do. So September is also Hunger Action Month, so you can look forward to us giving back to the community as well. But we're already planning for 100 and looking ahead.
Yeah.
So lots of special treats along the way.
And starting a business in 1930, it was a rough time to start a business in 1930. And talk about coming full circle with people, with helping people with Hunger Action Month. It was a tough time for consumers back then too, for sure. When Mr. George and his family started.
It was the Great Depression. I mean, that is definitely where Mr. George started.
Yeah.
But like we were just talking about prior to starting the podcast, Mr. George was no stranger to the grocery business. So his family had a general store in Georgia prior to Mr. George coming to Florida and opening up Publix. But there's always a lot to celebrate, and we're very grateful for our customers, our associates, and the communities we serve. But Aissata's right on the front line, so I'm going to let her talk a little bit more about the excitement that retail is feeling.
And right there in his hometown. Yeah, tell us a little bit what's going on, Aissata.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you both, Lynn and Maria. It is definitely very exciting time to celebrate 95 years of excellence, of service, and community. For me, this is a milestone where we're going to reflect, of how great we have been doing as a company, but also, just to stop and honor that legacy and look forward to the future. When you stop and think about it, Lynn, for 95 years we've been operating and we never laid off a single soul. That's a great achievement.
Get some claps. That's
Exactly. As a company, what I'm looking forward to really at the retail is just continue that connection that we have with our associate, because that's the key to our success, right? That's what the competition can touch is published people. They can't they can't duplicate, that. So just continuing to give space conversation
Mhm.
about leadership, inclusive also leadership, but especially leadership, women in leadership, and really just keep that legacy of Mr. George when it comes to mentoring future leaders,
Mm.
sharing, what we have done throughout the years to allow us to position ourselves as the leader in this grocery business.
And you are both great examples of that. Talk about, someone that started off, were you almost teenagers or teenagers at the time? And look at now the opportunities that this company has given you to advance and share your love of it.
Absolutely, Lynn. That's our promotion within, right? That's that growth. That's the other pillar that makes Publix as special. That what Publix is.
Yeah.
Maria started as a front service clerk at the age of 14. I started as a front service clerk slash bagger. When I talk about my story, I always tell people, well, I actually started below that because I didn't even speak English when I started at Publix Supermarket. But just to work through the rank and hold the senior position that I'm
Yeah.
currently, holding is a testament of, how Publix values people, talent,
Yeah.
and the great just mentors that we have in this company
Mhm.
that makes you believe in yourself, right? See the potential that you don't see in yourself, but position you also so you continue to grow, all
Mhm.
right, overcome challenges, opportunities, but just grow into becoming the leader that you want, because the sky is the limit at Publix, right? As long that you have that dedication, you have that work ethics,
Mhm.
you have that determination, you have that resilience. There is a lot of Publix leaders that will invest in you, but also just continue to ensure that you're getting all that you need so you can continue to move forward. Because again, our people is the key to our success. That promotion within is the reason why we are as strong as a company. Because any leadership position that you hold at Public Supermarket, you start at the bottom, right? You start at the entry level, so you come in really equipped to take on any challenge because you have learned it or you went through those
Mhm.
challenges as you were moving up the rank.
Yeah, and Maria, mentors are a huge part of it, being able to find that path. What do you think about that?
No, absolutely. I think mentorship is one of the most important things we can offer our associates. And I know Asada won't brag on herself too much, but that's okay because I'm here so I can do that. But I think the incredible role that she has and other leaders, I think we all come up with the same part that we want to return all of the experiences that we had and we want to pay it forward. We want to pay it back and be able to mentor future leaders in retail. Asada has the opportunity between all of her, stores and all of her districts to be able to mentor and develop associates. Again, we see full potential. We see the abilities of our associate that come to work.
Mhm.
Oftentimes, Asada and her role, and even here at our office, we see potential before even our associates see it. It takes someone believing in you and in the opportunities that you have and what you bring to the table. And I think that that is the best part of what we have.
Mhm.
We're able to spot talent. We see passion. And much to Asada's point earlier, that's what you can't, most people have asked us, what's the secret sauce? What is it that keeps Publix? What's the differentiator? And
Mhm.
we always come back to the same
Yeah.
thing. It's our people.
Mhm.
And it's also that we own it, that
Right.
legacy of ownership that we have. We own the company, and when you own something, you take better care of it. There's skin in the game for every associate that walks through the stores
Mhm.
or through warehousing and distribution, industrial operations. We all own a piece of that pie, and we want to
Yeah.
make it better. We want to leave it better than what we found it. And always continuing to forge ahead. So we couldn't do it without leaders like Asada. We couldn't do it without, that dedication and commitment. But it really does start at such a you know different path for each person. But we
Mhm.
start hiring from the age of 14. And our eldest active associate is 95 years young. So when you
Yeah, I
think
saw
about,
that. Yeah, they had a little
yeah,
party. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, we
That's
just
right.
celebrated both an associate and a
Yeah.
customer that were
Mhm.
celebrating birthdays. But there's 6 generations in our workforce currently. And when you think about that, that's like incredible to think about. Not only are we serving customers for 6 generations,
Mhm.
but we have associates that range in 6 generations. And how beautiful is that to be able to benefit from both both ends of the spectrum
Mhm.
and, bring it together and appreciate the differences and find value in everything that every associate brings to the table.
And you certainly have, and we mentioned Mr. George a lot, and his legacy really is so alive in the company for being that long ago, right? And then do you try to kind of live that legacy uh every day when you not every day, but regularly when you can, Asada? Is that something
Yep.
there?
Absolutely, absolutely. I like what Maria said earlier about, paying it forward,
Mhm.
right? You get to a point as a leader, it becomes more of a call of action, right? Paying it forward. I think that, it's good as a leader to lead with heart. That's what Mr. George did.
Mhm.
Lead with humility. Never forget where you
Mhm.
come from. Think about those that help you, because behind any successful person or leader that you will meet or find, there is an army of people behind that person that help shape them to be where they are, to become who they are.
Mhm.
And that's what was done, for me throughout the years. So but you have to be an intentional and an engaged leader to be able to do that, right?
Mhm.
You gotta, because sometimes, Lynn, you'll meet a person, an associate, especially me as someone who come from a different country.
Mhm.
Sometimes I meet associate and they're like, I want to go into management, but I have an accent, and I'm like, well, listen to this one.
Right.
But you gotta
Opportunities.
bigger than
Yeah.
this one, right?
Yeah.
But I'll take the time and help them, work through those uncertainties and doubt maybe sometimes that they have. But I always try to leave them with something, which is, just be who you are, right? Be who you are, have an identity, believe in yourself.
Mhm.
And those are those associates that as a leader you have to remain very, very, very engaged, because the only way you can find them is by paying attention to that it factor, right? You meet someone and you go like, I don't know what it is, but they got something. There is something about this person
Yeah.
that I can see them in this role. I can see them in this position, and that's what the whole legacy of Mr. George is, right? He was there, right? It's part of his lessons, being there,
Mhm.
being there and leading with the heart by making sure that you're making those connections. So it's just being very intentional that every encounter when you are in store, walking stores, coaching a manager, mentoring someone, that you are making connections, building relationships, so you can continue to find those associates that will be the future Sada Demi, that will be the future Maria, that will be, the future president of this company, because that's how it started. Right? Someone had to engage them, pay attention, but was just certain that they have something that they don't realize they do have
Mhm.
it, and stayed very connected with those associates that are today the leaders of our company. So I take it very personal. I make it like a personal thing, kind of like I said earlier, a call of action,
Mhm.
to remain very, very engaged when I'm in stores, and just actually just even I would say position myself as a beacon of hope.
Mhm.
Where someone can see me as a regional director for this awesome company and say, "Wow, if she can do it, I can do it. If she is there, I too can be there." So definitely something that we will never take lightly, but also we know that is actually one of the most important part of what we do at Public Supermarket, is to identify talent, to develop talent, but also to make sure that we are positioning people where they continue to grow and continue to take care of this company, 95 plus years to come.
That is remarkable, helping people see things that they might not see themselves, and that's pretty remarkable, and that's something that's part of your culture that I think which resonates with your shoppers. How could it not, right? Maria, being the face of the company over all these years, I bet you get that kind of feedback from customers of one of the things they like best about the stores is the caring, and I'm sure that spills over.
100%.
Mhm.
We have this definite bond with our customers.
Yeah.
It's always, I think, the and I think Asada would probably agree, the biggest compliment that we get from our customers is when they call it my Publix.
Mhm.
And it's my Publix because they have such connections, they have such ownership, they have such investment. They get to know our people, and our people get to know them.
Mhm.
We see multiple generations that come through the store. It's from, giving the first cookie, from our, bakery, from the kids club, and it's, having those connections of being there for all of those important occasions in
Yeah.
someone's life. They really make connections through, whether it's
Mhm.
with, the deli associate that knows exactly how to make that pub sub that they're looking for, or whether it's the cashier that knows to ask about their, parents or their
Mhm.
child. It's all about those personal connections,
Yeah.
and customers always talk about that. It's
Mhm.
about, their Publix, and, they take such pride and ownership. There's great reward in that, and there's also great responsibility. I think we understand and never take for granted what our customers and what our associates,
Mhm.
the faith and the, all of the things that they place in us, like not only the values that we represent and how we connect and all of the things that we provide, but we know it's a great responsibility of service. It's a
Mhm.
great responsibility, to provide, job security and to provide the best shopping experience. After all, we always say, we want to make this that, where shopping is a pleasure, but where working is a pleasure too.
Yeah.
And we keep that alive every day. That's how we honor, George Jenkins, our founder. It's about, we want to teach about what his foundations were and his lessons that Asada referred to.
Yeah.
But even more so today, we're talking about who's your Mr. George? Who is your person that continues to help and advocate and move you forward? And it's amazing to see when our, associates write down those experiences and they talk about leaders like Asada,
Yeah.
or whether it's their divisional vice president or their store manager, or, whoever has been influential for them.
Mhm.
Recognizing that most of our folks today, I mean, we have 260,000 associates today. Most of them
Well.
would not have met, George Jenkins at this point. But we keep him alive with us all the time by passing that forward,
Mhm.
by remaining deeply rooted in our culture
Yeah.
and our foundational beliefs. And I think that, that's what really makes us different from lots of other retailers. We all sell groceries. We all put, groceries on the shelf. But I think the difference for us is that we've stayed the course. We've remained very consistent and very true to our values. Our customers and our associates never have to wonder who or what we are. We remain that consistent, beacon of hope, and we've always been part of our communities and part of, where we live and work. So I think that there is some confidence in recognizing, everything that we say. We walk the walk that we talk, and, it's very consistent experience.
And talk about that, your associates, your customers, you're all part of that community. You mentioned community. You've got it right on the wall behind you, right? Good together. And that's part of the community as well. So, Asada, you work with nonprofit partners kind of in your district and your programs and events. So what are some highlights to you that kind of exemplify that you're all good together with customers, associates, in the larger community? What are some of your partnerships like that?
Yeah, we partner with, for instance, in coming up in September, we will be partnering for with, I'm sorry, Atlanta Food Bank,
Mhm.
where in my region, we will be working to feed 250,000 families that day. We do public serves, also, you know what I mean, during the spring in
Mhm.
different communities that we operate in. But it's not just we also support the community because this is part of our culture, right? That's the fifth bullet of our mission statement. Being involved as responsible citizens in our communities. We always show up. The we just concluded our we just concluded our march dimes this past August, and my region raised $570,000. Just one region, number one in the company. Last
Congratulations.
year, yep, United Way, $2.7 million that we raised for United Way. So it's just really being passionate about it and understanding that it's part of the legacy of Mr. George. Right, Mr. George was once asked, in just to kind of like paraphrase the answer, would he be worth more if hadn't he given so much?
Mm.
And then, his reply was, most likely he would not be maybe worth as much as, he is if he did not give so much, back. So giving back is part of our culture, being in the community, representing public supermarket and showing up for those that don't have a voice,
Mhm.
through whatever the platform that we have is also, a passion of mine, of my team, because it's just part of living that culture every single day. As Maria said, we just don't talk to talk, but we walk the talk, and it's part of that character that this company has, founded on integrity and just honoring what this founder was, as just a very generous person, but also just a very thoughtful person, because even by making us owners, for this company, that tells you right there, he was a visionary, he was a very smart businessman. He, because he knows if you own something, you're going to take care of it, but then at the same time also he was generous because he really did not have to, so just a lot to all the time. And I think that that's what makes also public leaders
Mhm.
to be the way that we are, is that we have a very strong foundation, right, that help guide us in every move, in every action that we take, because it's always about bringing that mission statement to life, is bringing that culture to life, is championing that culture, but also being understanding you're a representative, of that culture. Also in September, to honor Mr. George's birthday in my region, we will be also working with the we will be working in a neighborhood in the Adamsville area, which is underprivileged community, where we will be there also as well, you working and representing publics as well.
And talk about a measure of a person, the measure of their worth, being able to give, be able to espouse that and live that and carry on that legacy. Maria, you're doing some big things on the corporate levels that can, associates and leaders like Assata are truly engaged in, right? So for the anniversary and all the time.
It is. It's all of the things that we do. It's a commitment that when we decide to do something, it's not individually based, it's for the greater good. And we have all of our leadership vested. Asada gave great examples, whether it's our March of Dimes, our United Way, Special Olympics, is very near and dear to us. Not only do we support their campaigns, but we also employ Special Olympic athletes across our operating area.
Mm.
It's one of the greatest stories that I get to share and talk about, being able to value the abilities of our associates and understanding that everybody has something to share and bring to the table. But we are forever grateful to do those things. I mean, for Public Service Month, that Public Service Week, excuse me, that we have coming up in September, we'll have almost 8,000 associates that are out on the same time frame, giving back to their communities. And it's the generosity that they have. It's the belief that we have an obligation to make our communities thrive. And we are so fortunate to be able to give back. And we're fortunate to work for Publix that allows us to do that, that values the importance of people, of community. And I love the way Asada said it, finding the voice for those who cannot speak or don't have a seat at the table or don't have a voice to project, really bringing value and showing that it does take the village. I mean, we have a strong village. We have all of these associates that are passionate, and we can definitely move mountains. I always laugh with Publix people when we go to these nonprofit organizations. They think they have so much work for us to do, and they're like, "We know you're not going to be able to get through this today, and we just appreciate you all being here." And we always, as leaders, will chuckle and be like, "You have no idea." And the team does not stop, and they will just get it done. And usually in record time. We are a little competitive. We're in the retail industry. We like to compete.
Yeah, heck yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, so not only are they finishing and doing strong, but they want to know how long it took the next group that comes behind them to do the same type of work.
Right.
But it's amazing that Publix people move mountains. It's a privilege to be able to serve alongside our people who are so passionate, and serve our communities in so many ways that we don't even talk about, but give of themselves and do it so well.
happy anniversary to Publix. Happy anniversary, happy birthday to, to Mr. George on the occasion of his birthday. And
Mhm.
we're just honored that you were able to talk with us and share your stories with us today. So thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
We appreciate
Thank
you,
you.
Lynn. Thank you.
All right, lightning round here. What is one thing that's always in your grocery cart? Asada, go.
Um, Definitely chicken tenders from the deli, a tiramisu from the bakery department,
Mm,
Lynn, and a coffee creamer will be always in my grocery shopping
okay,
cart.
that's fair. That sounds really delicious. What about you, Maria? What's in your cart?
With a teenage boy, there's always tons of grocery in my cart, but there's always some kind of Publix premium Moose Trucks ice cream because that is a favorite of his. So that's always in there. If it's during the holiday season, which is coming up soon, and I'm super
Yep.
excited, but there is the limited time offering of our turkey cranberry sub from the deli. That is
Gotta
my
have the
all
pub
time
sub. Yeah.
favorite. Oh my gosh. If you haven't tried it, it just made a debut for Christmas in July, and it
Okay.
always operates from October to usually the end of the year. But if you haven't tried it yet, Lynn, it's my favorite product of all
Have
time.
to. Gosh. Yeah, that sounds great. That's a ringing endorsement. Well, thank you both again. I appreciate it. And yeah, congrats again.